Stephanie Dobson is back with us again this week. Stephanie is a lawyer, mediator, and online educator with Henke Divorce Law and Mediation offices in Lloydminster and Edmonton. Stephanie, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks again, as always, Stacey.
Well, we are going to be talking about some of the workbooks that you have that couples can access when they're going through divorce and separation and through the mediation process. So I want to talk about, let's just, I guess, generally start about the workbooks themselves. So tell me just a little bit about them and I guess the purpose of them.
Yeah, so when clients first retain our services, most of the time we start out by giving them one of our workbooks. So we do have three different workbooks available to clients, and they're for each are for different situations. So the first one that we have is called Our Family in Two Homes, and this is for parents who are separating or divorcing while they're still raising their children. So what you can see is this is actually a workbook that's a old pen and paper. As much as I focus on technology, I find that the workbooks help to have the actual pen and paper, and people bring them to their mediation or their sessions, their meetings with me. The second one that we have is called Our Family in a Few Homes. And this workbook is designed for separating or divorcing couples who have adult children, or even those who may not have children at all together. And then the third one is called Designing Our Future Together. So this is for workbook is for couples who are planning the next chapter of their life. So either planning to live together, planning to get married, having children, grow old together, or even when they're going through marital mediation. So this is the workbook that we use when people are staying together as a couple.
Okay, and let's talk about what's inside these workbooks.
Yeah, so I break this down into three different categories. So first, the purpose of the workbook is about building a strong foundation for the future, either together or separate. So either the designing your future together or the Our Family in Two Homes or a Few Homes. Working on things like trust, communication, reflecting on your conflict styles, and even your values. So this is to help the parties reflect on themselves and to reflect on the other party to help them move forward in each other's lives in whatever capacity that may be. But the crux of the matter is we want it to be in a healthy way. The second, there's a number of questions posed in this workbook that will prepare you for the discussions with me. So either as your mediator or your lawyer. So the questions in these workbooks give you time to process issues ahead of our meetings. The more work that you put into the workbook ahead of time, the more time and cost savings that you will have in your professional services. And the third reason for the workbook is giving you what I call the Law 101. So there's the legal framework for each of the topics that will be covered in our negotiations. So things, our viewers are going to be familiar with parenting plans, the support provisions, and then division of your assets and debts.
So how do these workbooks help families?
So these workbooks are designed to help families to dig deeper, to do that transformational work that's so necessary to become a healthy, thriving family, either after separation or after moving in together. And what we hope with after moving in together is it creates such a strong foundation that we never see you on the divorce or the separation side. It does create an environment for couples or former couples to transition with a strong foundation into the future. So often when I meet with families for the first time, it's about protecting oneself, getting your guard up, escalating the conflict. What we do is starting with the workbook, we try to help people start on the right foot by consciously making the best decisions possible about the future, but doing it together. Now, I just want to point out that these workbooks are not a do-it-yourself guide. There's people that have called us and said, hey, can I just get one of your workbooks? They're actually provided as part of our initial package and include live hours with me. So the concept is that parties will do the foundational work themselves. They'll start to scribble in the workbook, start to think through some of the topics, do some of the learning and the thinking ahead of time, and then they'll get help with the areas that they need help on. So if they've already got agreements, they don't need my help on those things. They just tell me, they recount to me what they've got in their workbooks. There's some things though that remain in more conflict.
And what does it mean, Stephanie, to be a practitioner who basically has these extra resources available for your clients?
Well, I hope our audience has realized by now that at the end of the day, I have a passion for helping families in a healthy way to transition either to separation or to designing their future together as a couple. And I find that because I have an exclusively out of court practice, this helps families to stay in the driver's seat throughout their journey, and it helps them to budget more and better as they're going through their separation or divorce. So there's finding resolution. And then there's finding resolution built on a strong foundation. And I really want to be part of that leveling up with the families that I work with.
And if people are looking for more information on the workbooks, what is the best way to get that, Stephanie?
Well, first, go to our website. If you look under the resources section, there's a whole page on the website there. Or you can call our office and book your 5 minute free call with me to discuss whether the workbooks might be a good option. 780-875-2234.
Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back to chat with you again next week.
Yeah, thanks, Stacy.